Hello, welcome to Break the Cast. You're joining us with Fourth and Goal. I'm here with Andrew Reese and Christian Smith, our usual Fourth and Goal crew. And you're listening to your one-stop shop for all things football. Except, unlike regular shopping, here I don't suck and try to dip 2 minutes in to go to the food court. So this week we're trying to make things a little bit more segment-based. So we're going to kick things off talking about one of the big things that affected last week. Last week we talked about how big the refs were in the games and that. This week, obviously, there's a big question around running backs with their injuries going into them and coming out of them. What do you guys think your big injury stories were this week?
Well, of course, Jamal Charles going down, out for the season. That's going to affect them a lot.
Yeah, the Jamal Charles one is obviously huge because he has been that team's offense for the past few years.
Yeah, there's probably two big ones out there right now. That would be the Jamal Charles injury as touched upon, and also Marshawn Lynch
who's supposed to be coming back this week.
Injury,
yeah.
But would you start Lynch even after that guy put up those huge numbers last week?
It sucks for all the people who picked up roles in fantasy.
Because he put up, 127 last week, I think it was?
I can pull that up for
Yeah, he put up some big totals last week, but obviously, in my opinion anyway, you still got to go with Lynch. He's been a model of consistency.
Yeah, so rushing Tyrell's had 23 carries for 169 yards and 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like you're talking about, putting in a guy who has, a history of, not having big games or whatever. Mm-hmm. He is consistent. Like, every time he comes out, you're getting what you're expecting from Lynch. You're not going to get a guy who puts up, 250 yards, right? But you're not going to get a guy who puts up 30 yards either.
Well, this could go back to something we spoke about a couple weeks ago with the dual threat, how a lot of teams are going with those two running backs.
Yeah, and there's nothing to say that Marshawn Lynch has to be your pure workhorse back in
now,
this game.
If you have Ty Rawls coming in, that could take kind of a load off Lynch. And
Rawls
when you got
and
those
Jackson.
Two, exactly. Yeah. And then you got those two, plus, you got Fred Jackson as well. Mm-hmm. They got a nice 3-set running back over there in Seattle now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be a situation like that where we see 3 running backs get carries. You're going to see maybe Rawls or Jackson on third downs.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt Lynch plays all 3 downs coming back from injury. No. But at the same time, I can see him getting 15 to 20 carries.
Now, touching back on Jamal Charles, obviously Chiefs lost this week 18-17 to the Bears. They're 1-4, and now they lose one of the NFL's best running backs. How big an impact is that for the Chiefs?
They're done.
I think they're done.
Yeah. There goes my Super Bowl pick.
Yeah, I don't think you can really compete anymore now without Jamal Charles. The guy is your offense. Obviously your quarterback has, some kind of disease where he can't throw to wide receivers in the end zone or something. It's just he goes blind as soon as they get more than 30 yards deep or something. And now you lose the best receiving running back, in my opinion, in the NFL. It's terrible for a team like this, especially the way they're built.
Keeping on the running back situation, how did you guys think Foster did last week? I think he actually looked pretty good.
He looked all right. But, I mean, it's like I said before for Foster. He gets hurt a lot, but whenever he's in, you don't have to worry about Foster.
Yeah, he obviously had to pick it up after the first game. You could see he was kind of going through the motions, but he put up 41 rushing yards and 77 receiving yards. No touchdowns, but still an impressive game. Second game back?
The receptions were second game. The receptions were huge though because they were always on third down. Mm-hmm. Every time he'd get it, and he'd be just across the line, stuff like that. But you know what? For a guy who is very well could be the guy on this team, like he has been in years past, he's yet to remain to be seen. How he comes back from this injury per se, but he has been the focal point of this offense for years, and without Johnson there now too. The fact that he's catching these third down passes and getting over the line and getting you in those crucial situations, it's huge.
Well, we've seen kind of a shift while he was gone that DeAndre Hopkins was really stepping up in that offense, which for Houston, that's great because now if you have that threat of Hopkins and obviously Arian Foster, things get better over there in Houston, but still they're missing a lot of things. They dropped to 1-4 this week, so they still got some work to do over there.
Talking about our Super Bowl picks, though, I'm pretty sure mine's done now, too.
You had Baltimore and Green Bay, right?
I had Baltimore, yes.
I had Kansas City and Green Bay. Only one of them looks like it's going to happen.
I think we can also end the discussions on whether or not Joe Flacco is elite after this week. That's been a recurring question over the past few years, whether Joe Flacco can be considered elite or not. I think this time, after being that badly outplayed by Josh McCown,
I honestly Flacco is just, I'm so in between on him, in all honesty. I've been a Flacco fan. Like, I've always never minded him. Like, if he came to Buffalo, heck, I'd take him any day of the week.
I like the way he steps it up in clutch situations.
In the big
but
games,
I mean,
yeah.
Compare the numbers last week, though. McCown had
McCown
457 yards, 2 touchdowns. Flacco, who's considered an elite because he has a ring, had 210 yards and 1 TD.
Mm-hmm. But they focused Forsett a lot in that game, too. So I think Flacco had significantly less attempts. I know McCown attempted 51.
35 to 51.
Yeah, 51 is a significantly higher number than
and
35.
McCown actually finished with 36 completions.
Yeah. McCown is the only player in NFL history to put up 51 attempts, 457 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a rushing touchdown, all in the same game.
Unbelievable.
The only player ever to do that. It's Josh McCown.
There was a quarterback on my team who did something only the second time in NFL history. Tyrod Taylor, speaking of these kind of fun facts, was the second quarterback in NFL history to put up over 100 yards passing, over 70 yards rushing, and also receive a catch.
And that was also, he set the record for rushing yards by a QB for the Bills that game, right?
To be honest, I didn't see that record, but I know he did have 76 yards rushing on 8 carries.
Yeah. Obviously, a huge game for him, but obviously negated by the injury.
The horse collar, yes.
Well,
it was what led to the injury.
Yeah, the torn MCL is going to be a big storyline going forward.
Sprain.
It's going to be a big storyline
There's
going forward
reports
for the
that he
Bills.
practiced today. He might suit up for the next game against Cincinnati, but may serve as the backup.
Josh Johnson to the rescue.
Oh, no, please. Please don't.
There's a very real chance that Josh Johnson could end up being released by 5 times over the course of this season.
I wonder what the record for that is.
How many times released?
Yeah.
Not sure. Does it put up with Cecil's times being tossed yesterday?
Quick note, I know it's a football podcast. Cecil did not get released the first time.
It was Burley.
It was Burley
yeah,
that got tossed, but everyone was saying it was Cecil.
Yeah.
And then when he came back out, Price was looking at him like, "What are you doing here?" And he went
the umps were like, "Get out of here."
Yeah.
All right, so back
Maybe
to
it's just
football.
more because it's Cecil than being tossed. They just don't want him there. But yeah, back to football. What were you guys' games to watch this week? Like the games that were big that you guys, I don't know, were watching this week.
You know what was an underrated game, and I think we did bash on it a little bit last week, was the Buccaneers and Jaguars game. Ended up becoming a good game, 38-31.
But did
down to
it
the
become a
fourth.
good game because they're both so garbage?
They're
That
both
could
so
be part
bad
of
they
the
can
reason.
compete with each other.
Exactly.
Hey, Blake Bortles, though, is having a heck of a season. He's playing well.
Yeah, how many wins does he have?
Yeah, he's got one, but he's playing well. It's not his fault, and no one else on Jacksonville, especially that defense, isn't helping him.
Hearns.
Okay, that's what I mean. Offensively, they're doing all right. It's the defense.
Yeah,
part
but
of the
look
game.
at that. How many players can you name on that defense?
Exactly. That's
Chris
what
Clemens,
I mean.
Paul Posney, Telvin Smith,
All right.
and Jonathan Seifrin. That's all I got.
Posney.
So 4 of them.
Puslowski.
Yeah.
Play for Buffalo.
He did. Except,
That's why I know him.
there you go.
He's a
Andrew knows one
He's a
guy.
beast. He is a beast.
Andrew knows one guy in Jacksonville.
Paul Puslowski.
Puslesny and Bortles.
Blagden, what about you?
Man, my game of the week, I've got to go with Cincinnati-Seattle because of the repercussions it had in, obviously, the Cards division, in that Seattle's reeling right now. And with that loss, that was a game for either of those teams to make a statement. And Seattle came out flat, and they didn't. They tried to make a push at the end, but they just couldn't do it.
Yeah, there's something up with Seattle. Do you think
They're not what they've been.
Do you think the topic of maybe Pete Carroll no longer being a Seattle Seahawk as a coach, obviously, is going to come up sooner rather than later?
Oh, no.
No.
He's,
No way.
You guys don't think so?
I don't think so. Not after what he's done the
culture
past
he
couple
added
seasons.
into that team
That's
is
true, yeah.
bar none.
He's got the Tom Coughlin immunity.
Mm-hmm.
He's led them to 2 straight Super Bowls. Obviously, 1 loss, 1 win, but still, with what he's done and the culture shift and the players he's brought in and everything since being there, I don't see him gone anytime soon.
Yeah, it's just a weird situation. You know, obviously Cam Chancellor came back. They got kind of the Legion of Boom thing going on again.
Mm-hmm.
But
you can see a
they're just
shift in them too.
slacking,
They
yeah.
do not look like they have in the past.
They don't have that danger to them. Even on defense, like they don't have that dangerous kind of factor with them as well.
Mm-hmm. Despite having the same players there, they just don't appear to be that team anymore.
Yeah, no, and it's tough. Like obviously we mentioned Rawls had a heck of a game.
It was really a bailout because that game should have been a much bigger blowout than it was.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, Cincinnati came through for, at least for my cards, huge. Beating Seattle there in a game that a lot of people had a toss-up coming into this week.
Yeah.
It would have been my
That
game
was
to
the
watch.
game of the week.
It would have been my
sure.
game to
Yeah.
watch going into this week too, but coming out of it, it's the game
on
that
paper, it was for sure.
it had the biggest
game of week.
repercussions.
Yep.
I mean, you can make a legit argument that Seattle, every game is a must-win from here on out. If the Cards keep
If
playing
the Cards
the way
keep
they
it up,
have,
they have to win. every game.
even St. Louis playing
They have the same record
well.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Seattle has a very real chance of dropping to third in that division, to the third best team in that division. I mean, not just record-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So is there only one team in the league without a win at this point?
Yeah, Detroit.
Yeah,
Detroit Lions?
Detroit's the only
0-5?
team without a win. We've also got the most number of undefeated teams still at this point in the
Yeah,
season.
since 1970.
Yeah,
I believe it
well, I
was.
think that's
It's pretty awesome to see that. Yeah, we have the Patriots.
the Patriots, the Panthers, the Falcons,
Bengals.
the Bengals, the Broncos. What's the other one?
Yeah, that's right. Broncos are 5-0, and
Panthers.
I said Panthers.
Panthers.
Packers.
Bengals.
Packers, right?
Yeah.
How
The
can we
best team in
forget
the
the
NFL.
Packers? The one team we forget. They're just so forgettable. I don't know.
Speaking of the
With
Packers,
Aaron Rodgers throwing 2 interceptions this week.
I was about to say that. Speaking of the Packers, obviously, Aaron Rodgers was human after we
For
have
the first time in
2
3,000
years.
years.
Yeah,
He
we
throws
we
2
obviously
interceptions.
The
if you
first
guys
home
are-
interception since 2012,
Of
Yes.
and he throws
December.
2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to say, if you guys are regular listeners of the podcast, you obviously know how much we speak well of Aaron Rodgers. This week, obviously, looked human, still threw for 241 yards and 2 touchdowns, but
Let's
obviously...
see, most humans do that.
Yeah, exactly. And then, obviously, he had the interceptions. In the
Look,
game.
I don't know how you're judging humanity, but if you're judging it based on that, I think I fall pretty low on the scale.
How about Todd Gurley, though, again? Had 159 yards rushing on 30 carries.
Still hasn't scored a touchdown.
Yeah. He's putting up the yards, though.
He's getting yards. But, I mean, on a team like that, you don't really need to score a lot of points when you have the defense that St. Louis has. So,
Exactly.
they obviously were the only team to come close to slowing down Aaron Rodgers to this point in the season.
They didn't get him, though. They didn't injure him.
They didn't injure him. The St. Louis curse did not come into effect this game.
So Palmer and Rodgers, the only two to pass it so far this year.
So far, I mean...
And going back with Aaron Rodgers, obviously, the talk of MVP has come up for Aaron Rodgers. So
He's still probably the leading candidate
Yeah,
for
so
MVP.
through the weeks that he's played so far, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1,236 yards, and a QB passer rating of 117.4.
I think he's in the
Yeah.
big conversation with Brady as the MVPs to this point in the
So far,
season.
yep. Yeah, I agree with that.
Which seems like what it comes down to in
Every
like
year
each of the
almost,
last
yeah.
4 years, aside from the times that Peyton is in it. When he doesn't have a noodle for an arm like this year.
Yeah, let's. We should.
But
we
how
should
about
touch
an
on that later.
underrated MVP candidate for this year? Peyton's brother, Eli. The
Eli?
way he's been playing and supporting that offense.
Yeah, Eli has had a very good season.
He now has the most
understated, too.
fourth quarter comebacks above his brother now with
Yep,
27.
he was 27 since
And
2004.
then Peyton's number 2, and then Brady 3, Romo 4, Roethlisberger 5 was the top
Something
5?
like that.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I know Eli is in first with 27 since 2004. And the way he's played this year, I don't think anyone expected him to be the way he has, especially with the low interceptions.
Honestly, I think they're going to win that division now. I really, really do. With the injuries the Cowboys have, I think it's basically theirs to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with the Cowboys being as hurt as they are and Philadelphia reeling right now, that this is the Giants' division to lose.
Speaking of the Cowboys, I know they got completely blown out this week, but how good did Greg Hardy look in his first game back? Didn't look like he missed a beat at all.
First game in, 389 days?
Yeah, he was causing so much havoc for Tom Brady. It was ridiculous. I actually thought after that first half we might have a chance to maybe steal the game, but then they just opened it up second half.
Yeah, and
And the
then,
fact
then
that
they
Whedon
became
can't
they
do
became the
anything.
Patriots.
Yeah, exactly.
Whedon can't throw a ball further than 20 yards, so like,
See you in February.
I'm pretty sure I can throw a ball deeper than he can.
What do you guys think of that quote? See you in February, Tony Romo
Boy.
to Tom
Yeah,
Brady.
well, we'll see.
Yeah.
That's bold.
We'll see.
The fact that cameras pick that up, which there's always cameras everywhere in football, they will pick up anything.
Mhm. It's not happening, though.
Yeah, Tony Romo now saying that.
This is not
That's
happening.
risky, yeah.
You're saying you're going to the Super Bowl led by Brandon Whedon?
Well,
or
now
Matt Castle,
whoever
whoever it ends up being. I
Matt
know.
Castle, yeah, he's got the start this week.
Listen, Matt Castle did not make the Bills, all right? So
Tyrod Taylor beat out Matt Castle.
All right,
so.
now let's not talk down Tyrod, please.
Yeah, if Tyrod didn't play as good, though, you think they would have traded him?
No. The thing is, I think a lot of his success comes from Greg Roman.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned before with the 49ers, I think that's why Colin Kaepernick had a lot of success, because they play to those quarterback styles.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if Greg Roman was not on this team, maybe he would not make the team, in all honesty.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what it comes down to ultimately.
Well, yeah, it's even like Palmer on Arizona. Since he's been there, it's been a complete career rejuvenation for him.
Well,
Yeah,
he
he
fits
looks
in
like a
very
young
well
man,
with
yeah.
Bruce Arians, and obviously when you have guys like Larry Fitzgerald on your team, and even the past couple seasons where Fitzgerald hasn't been as big as he was in the past or as big as he's been
Still
this
a
year,
solid receiver
he's still
regardless.
getting double covered.
Yeah.
That's still leaving Michael Floyd open,
John
right?
Brown.
Like getting other people involved, and you can't do that if you don't have a guy like Larry Fitzgerald, Ellington out of the backfield, right? And
The funny thing with that Cardinals game was
the funny thing was the Detroit Lions.
that and the fact that Carson Palmer only threw the ball 14 times
He only had to.
and had 161 yards and 3 touchdowns.
They had the ball.
Unbelievable.
They had the ball for 21 minutes in that game and scored 42 points.
That's unreal.
2 points per minute.
Dan Orlovsky.
This team is legit.
No, they are. They're in
Oh, yeah.
my top 5, no doubt.
Yeah, me too.
I keep saying it all the time. Every time we've talked about it, I'm saying they're the number 1 team in the league right now. You
So-
look at full talent wise, offensively, defensively. They've got the most points scored in the NFL by a long shot. They've got 190. Second place is Atlanta with 167, and they've only allowed 90 points. There's a 100-point differential
Yeah.
between points scored and points allowed.
Now, I was a little out of the loop for this week, being Canadian Thanksgiving, obviously. I was kind of out of town, missed some things.
So you were flaking on football.
Yeah, let's throw it out there.
Andrew the Flake Reese.
So Stafford was injured for this game?
Nope, he didn't get hurt. He got pulled.
He got
He
pulled
threw
out for
3
Dan
picks,
Orlovsky.
got pulled, and then Orlovsky threw a pick.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, when did he get pulled? Which quarter? I didn't
Fourth
see
quarter?
this.
Yeah, it was a
Oh,
fourth.
okay,
quarter.
it's the fourth quarter.
Yeah. He
I thought it was like early, like he
Either
just
way,
threw 3
he
and
got
took it
pulled.
Yeah,
he was looking
that's
bad. He threw 3 picks. He almost had a fumble. He got sacked a couple times.
How long do you think his leash is?
Oh, it's long.
Yeah?
You're gonna put Dan
Like
Are you going to put
Orlovsky
Dan
in.
Orlovsky in?
No, but I mean, they could easily. They're already 0-4. They could be getting a decent draft pick this year.
0
You think they
0
go
and 5
draft
now.
a QB? Oh yeah, 0-5.
0-5.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I don't think they draft a quarterback. You have Matt Stafford on your team. You're not drafting a quarterback.
Stafford is
Matt
a very
Stafford
good
is the
quarterback.
all-time leader in yards per game in NFL history.
Okay.
You have Matt Stafford. He's still
But he's
young.
also
You're
played
not
down
pulling
his
him.
whole
What you're
career,
gonna
so
what
he's
you're
had
going
to throw.
what you're going to do is pick up an offensive coordinator that knows how to be an offensive coordinator in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're going to do. You're going to pick up a guy that's not going to try to run the ball every play against the Arizona Cardinals. Like, let's face it, they're allowing 3.1 yards per carry this year and have only allowed like 2 touchdowns on the ground all season. Like, why are you running the ball? Start passing. You have Matt Stafford.
It does not make sense at all.
Like, and then some of the interceptions, there were bad throws, but in general, he made some pretty good decisions, and his receivers let him down, and the Cardinals D is it's the Cardinals D. Like, they start 7 DBs. If you're starting 7 DBs, you're going to get interceptions.
Yeah.
Proven by their 11 league-leading interceptions this season.
Now, as we were talking about, obviously, running backs, I know we were talking about injuries. Now, last week I had mentioned about the Denver Broncos having their running backs kind of helping out, being Ronnie Hillman, C.J. Anderson. This week, they disappeared again. I know they only had a combined total carries of 18.
I think
But-
For 43 yards.
Denver-
though.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
43 yards
between
total
the two
between
of
the two of
I
them.
think Denver is the undefeated team, aside from maybe Carolina, that you can throw in there too, that has the most question marks.
Agreed.
Yeah.
They have a solid defense, a great defense,
Mhm.
but no running game, and Peyton Manning can't throw the ball further than 40 yards. He just can't. He knows he can't too. He doesn't even attempt to. But the problem with that is everyone on the other side, on other defenses, they know he's not going to attempt to. They don't have to play those players deep, right? And their defense can only support them for so long before you need the offense to start doing something.
Yeah, no, and that's how it comes down to all the great teams is you have a balance of offense and defense. We've seen in the past, for example, the Patriots, the year they went undefeated. Amazing offense, but they had question marks on the defense, even though they won every
It
game.
was a good defense, though.
But when it got to the Super Bowl, what ended up happening was the Giants kind of took them by surprise.
Yeah, but I mean, that was still a solid defense. Like,
Yeah,
you
no,
can't-
I'm not
they
taking
had-
anything
they
away
had-
from them at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very
But I
good
mean, there
defense. You
was-
can't compare that to
There
what.
was better defenses, obviously, in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you rank Broncos then?
This Broncos team this year?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would probably rank them, like, obviously they're in the top 10, but I don't even know if I'd put them top 5.
I wouldn't put them top 5.
They're 5-0, but there's just so many question marks around this team right now.
They're 5-0, but look at the teams they've played. They haven't played very good teams.
Yeah, they barely beat Oakland last week.
Yeah,
barely.
These are teams that they should be beating, right?
Who are your guys' top 5 right now teams?
Teams?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've
not in any particular order.
No,
just
mine's
give me
in
5.
order.
No, we're going in order. We're going in order.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
We're sparking an argument. No.
So my order, or you want to start?
Go ahead. Be my
mine's
guest.
Packers.
You're wrong, but be my guest.
Patriots, Cardinals, Bengals, Falcons. And you could change Bengals, Falcons around. I wouldn't be mad at you.
Well, I'm already mad at you. Cardinals are the best team in the league. They're the best team in the NFL. You look at the balance between offense and defense on that team, and it doesn't even come close to other teams.
One loss.
Second, one loss. One loss, but if we're basing this, look at
the Panthers. There's no way they're better.
St. Louis is not.
Yeah.
St. Louis is a better team than most of the undefeated teams have played this year, regardless of record. Look at that defense. No, most of the undefeated teams haven't played anything close to that defense, right? And I mean, that's the one loss for the Cardinals. I'm fine with that. Cardinals are still the best team in the league. Cardinals won, Patriots 2. Even though they have no semblance of a defense whatsoever, Tom Brady is angry, and it's noticeable.
Yeah, when you're putting up 42 points, it doesn't matter about defense.
Yeah, and I mean, if you take out the fact that they've had a bye, then these are the 2 top scoring teams in the NFL. Like, both of them average more than almost 40 points per game, right? Which is ridiculous. If you take out the 22 points in the St. Louis game, first of all, if you take out those 22 points, they're still leading the NFL in scoring. Second of all, you take out those 22 points, they're averaging 42 points per game.
Yep.
Right, which is insane. 2 is the Patriots. 3 is obviously the Packers. I mean,
we don't even need to elaborate. Aaron Rodgers.
3 is the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, despite those 2 picks, is still by far the best quarterback in the NFL. And at 4 and 5 is where it gets a little out of sorts. I mean, I'm putting Atlanta at 4 just because of how incredible that offense has looked this season. Defensively, obviously, they're not as good as some of the other guys in the league, but when you're putting up 48 points every game, there's not a whole lot of teams that are able to keep pace with that anyway, and the Bengals are my 5.
My top 5 would definitely be Packers number 1, Cardinals number 2, Patriots number 3, Bengals number 4, Falcons 5.
Now explain your reasoning for putting the Packers ahead of the Cardinals.
Packers
I just want to hear
ahead of
this.
the Cardinals? Aaron Rodgers not human.
Aaron Rodgers is a great player. Take Aaron Rodgers. Take both the quarterbacks off that team.
Okay.
The Cardinals are
Packers still win.
significantly
I think
better.
the Packers still win.
Seriously?
No, look at last year.
No.
I don't
what the
know,
Cardinals
like-
did without Palmer, though.
No.
The thing is,
They were still an
they had
11 and
Aaron
5
Rodgers.
team last year, right?
They were 11 and 5 with Carson Palmer only starting 6 games,
Okay, yeah, I see that, but
and they're a
I'm
better
talking-
team this year.
I'm talking now with Aaron Rodgers. They're not 5-0 because of luck, not Andrew Luck. I mean luck, but no, to me, I don't know.
He's no
I see
Hasselbeck.
the Packers, like, from what I've seen, they're just so good. And Eddie Lacy's got to pick up his game first.
They're a great player, but the
Definitely.
Cardinals' defense is so much better than the Packers' defense.
No, I don't.
And then you
argue
look
that
at the
all.
rest of the pieces around them offensively, and I mean, Aaron Rodgers' second best receiver is a guy who got released 3 times coming into this season. You think you put him on with any other quarterback, and he's going to look anywhere near as good as he has to this point in the
No
season,
chance.
Probably not.
right? Like James Jones he's James Jones. He looks good because of Aaron Rodgers. You look at the receivers Palmer has; they're talented players. Larry Fitzgerald put up 1,400 yards with Max Hall throwing to him, right? And John Brown is so quick, and then you have Michael Floyd who's barely touching the ball this year because of all the talent they have around them.
Yep.
The 3-headed running back tandem of Chris Johnson, David Johnson, and Andre Ellington, and now they have tight ends to throw the ball to for the first time too, plus a solid offensive line. So beyond Aaron Rodgers, it's the only place that I can see the Packers beating the Cardinals.
Yep. I'm okay with that argument. In all honesty.
It's Cardinals number 1.
No, I'm keeping my Packers there.
Your Packers. They're your
Well-
Packers now, huh?
Jump in the bandwagon. No, I'm kidding.
All right. So those are our, obviously our top 5s out of the way there. A little bit. I want to touch on a little bit here that we wanted to get added in for weeks to come, and that is our fantasy. Who were our starts of the week and our sits of the week.
Starters of the week.
I'll kick it off if you guys want.
Sure thing.
My start of the week is Niall Davis for the running back on KC. He always comes in when Charles is out and does put up very, very good numbers.
The problem with that I see, and I mentioned it earlier today, is that Andy Reid says they're going to try to run a three-headed running back threat there, which means he could end up getting like 10 to 12 carries, which isn't really a guy you want to start on your fantasy team, right? That's the only issue I see with that. Niles Davis as a player is a good player.
But if he does look like the best one out of the three, you're telling me you don't think Andy Reid's going to stick with him, though?
We'll see.
He's a smart coach. He will.
Yeah, but when Andy Reid has a game plan, Andy Reid sticks to that game plan. He's stubborn that way.
My sit of the week is Josh McCown because they are playing the Broncos.
Yeah.
Can I ask who's starting Josh McCown?
Yeah, I mean, last week,
he's been picked up on the waiver wire. I don't know about you guys.
Last week he was great, but I mean, he's still Josh McCown.
I don't know if he's taken in my league. That's a good one. I'll look into that.
My start of the week is Jay Cutler going up against that porous Lions defense. And I know he's a guy who's going to put up garbage time numbers. They're so bad, they're a whole town. But he's going to put up garbage time numbers. We know that. But I think in this game, he's going to pick apart that Lions defense. He's talented enough for that. Sit of the week. I'm going with the Seahawks defense. Because going up against Carolina and Cam Newton, I mean, Cam Newton has been killing it this year. Seattle's defense has not looked as good as they have in years past. Yet a lot of people still, positioning them amongst the best in the league in that. I don't think this week they're going to be able to do too much.
I would say my start of the week is Mark Ingram, running back of the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, against Atlanta, they have the second worst run defense in the league. Ingram has been playing pretty decent on a team that is not doing too well.
But you think he's going to do a lot? Don't you think they'll be down and be looking to throw a lot more?
Yeah, but he also catches the ball. That's the thing.
Yeah,
and especially in the end zone, he'll probably pick up 1 or 2 touchdowns that game. Luckily for me, I do have him in fantasy, so I'm looking forward, hoping for a big game out of Mark. And my sit of the week is kind of a tough one. I would probably go, if anyone is still starting, him, Matt Stafford. I think we touched upon it already. He's been really struggling. Obviously, the Lions have. If you got Stafford, it would probably be him. If not, the Steelers' wide receivers. Obviously, Michael Vick's having a hard time finding some of them.
Yeah, it's true. Michael Vick hasn't really been throwing to the receivers too much since he's come in.
Yeah.
And obviously there's been complaints from the receivers coming out about that, especially Antonio Brown, who is among the best receivers in the game.
He's not seeing the ball, yeah.
Yeah, he's not touching the ball like a guy like him should be, and especially going up this week against the Cardinals.
Exactly my point.
Regardless to which DB you put on him, they're solid all over the field, right? You've got Patrick Peterson, you've got Justin Powers, you've got Rashad Johnson, you got Bethel. There's just Tyrann Mathieu. It's just endless. They can throw DBs at you for days. All right, so let's go over our picks for this week now.
So the first... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so tonight we got the Falcons and the Saints.
Falcons.
Yeah, 6-0.
That offense is just insane. I think it'll be close, though. Closer than people are giving them credit for.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Obviously, we mentioned the defensive struggles.
Yeah, especially being a Thursday night game.
Yep.
Nobody looks good on Thursday nights.
Next game, we got the Washington Redskins against the New York Jets.
Jets.
That defense, I've been saying it week after week.
That line is just incredible.
This hurts me to say, but yeah, I'm going to go with the Jets. Up next, we got the Arizona Cardinals against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Cardinals destroy them.
Cardinals.
I say it's another 40-point game. I'm saying 48.
Michael Vick's doing nothing.
48-24.
I actually think Vick gets pulled this week.
I think the question with this one is, what's the over-under on turnovers?
I
say over-under 5 turnovers.
Wow.
What do you guys think?
4 turnovers happen.
Yeah, I was going to say about 3. I think I'm in between on 3 or 4.
I'm going to say 6. I say 2 interceptions, 4 fumbles. Because the Cardinals defense hitting Michael Vick, if he tries to run or tries to get out of that pocket, he's fumble prone. I say 4 fumbles, 2 interceptions. Not all by Vick. The interceptions by Vick, but not all the fumbles by Vick.
The next game we got is my Super Bowl pick, the Kansas City Chiefs, who have
I don't know if you want to advertise that.
Yeah,
you might want to stop saying that. Maybe people will forget.
I make mistakes. I'm human.
I don't.
All right, people. So
I don't. I'm Aaron Rodgers.
And the Vikings. I made 2 last week. So we got the Chiefs and the Vikings. Kansas City for me.
I said Kansas City earlier too. It's a tough game, though. I am still going to ride the KC wagon on this one, but I think this could very well be their last win of the season. with Jamal Charles out.
Yeah, and they're up against Adrian Peterson. Peterson actually quickly called himself the Michael Jordan in the NFL.
After it was stated that Jamal Charles was the LeBron James of the NFL. Yeah. I mean, if there's a player I'm going to compare physically in the NFL to LeBron James, it's going to be Adrian Peterson. But LeBron James has an effect. I was going to say LeBron James has such an effect on his team that you can only really relate him to a quarterback in terms of, how much
and
he
the way he
affects the
sees
game.
the court and everything.
Yeah. But I mean, nobody is the LeBron James of anything.
No one.
LeBron James is so much better at basketball than
Rodgers
anybody.
Is pretty good at QBing, though.
No, LeBron James is so much better at basketball than anybody else on the planet that it's.
Hey, you know how much I love LeBron. So.
I don't think you can really put any football player, baseball player, tiddlywinks player, horseback rider,
shout out to tiddlywinks,
crochet player, whatever you want to say. They're not the LeBron James of whatever they do.
If somebody in the comments section could tell me who the tiddlywink or the LeBron James of tiddlywinks is, I will send you a prize. Okay?
We'll get you a Break the Cast T-shirt.
Yeah, we'll get you a shirt or something. Please tell me who the LeBron James tiddlywinks is, and I will look him up.
His name is Peter.
I was really thinking you were going for John Cena on that one. So, Christian, who's your pick for that game? Chiefs and Vikings.
Vikings.
He forgot with all the tiddlywinks talk.
Yeah.
He was getting excited about that big game tonight.
He was looking up tiddlywinks schedule. Yeah. So
Professional tiddlywinks schedule 2015.
So you picked Vikings?
Yeah.
So one Vikings, we both picked the Chiefs, right?
Yes, sir. You have to. I mean, you're tied to them now.
Yeah. It's like a marriage that you're not happy with.
What marriage are you happy
I was
with?
going to say I know nothing about marriage, but hey.
That's for another day.
Anyway, yeah.
Different podcast. Join us next week when we talk about marital troubles.
With a 20-year-old college student.
Yep.
And none of us are married.
Up next, we got the 5-0 Bengals against the All right.
Your boy's out.
Bills.
Your boy's out. McCoy's out. Watkins is out. How are they scoring?
And McCoy.
How are they going to score?
They're not.
Exactly. So they're not going to win.
Jim Kelly's coming out of retirement.
We've been asking for that since he retired. I'm guessing you're going Cincinnati as well, Jeff?
I don't think there's another pick here.
Yeah.
Who are you going with? Say it.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati?
Okay. Wait,
hold
who
up,
did you pick to lose? Say it again.
Buffalo.
Hold up. Cincinnati is the LeBron James of the regular season.
Stop it.
And the best game of the week.
Oh, jeez. The Bears versus
Your
the Lions.
game of the week.
I got the Bears, actually.
Actually, you say it like it's surprising.
Well, if this was last year, it would kind of be surprising, but...
Bears.
I got the Bears.
Yeah.
5-0 Broncos versus the 2-3 Browns.
Broncos.
Well, wait, no, Browns. Sorry, my bad. Browns.
Okay, you just named 3 teams.
I think the Bears and the Broncos are going to team up to beat the Browns. Now, I say the Browns beat the Broncos, and I'm saying so because of their strong secondary and the fact that I stated earlier that Peyton can't throw the ball deep.
I'm still picking Denver to go 6-0. Compelling argument, but picking Denver.
Nah.
Up next, we have...
Josh McCown, man, come on.
Oh,
MVP.
So up next, we obviously have the Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Both teams at 1-4.
Another game of the week.
Yeah.
One for the ages, boys.
I'm going Jacksonville on this one.
I'm going Houston because I think Watt is going to show up with Clowney this week. Watt's had a very quiet year.
Like they're going to show up together, like hand in hand.
They're going to hold hands and clothesline.
They come in the same
Forrest.
car. It's you know what? They drive a truck, let's face it. They're not showing up in a car. No, I'm going Houston too. Brian Hoyer, Ryan Mallett, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
Although, question, why was it Hoyer throwing the Hail Mary at the end of the game and not Mallett?
There's a lot of questions about Houston, like why does Vince Wilfork just wear overalls? But Houston has a lot of questions that we will never know answers to.
Was that like a space agency pun there?
It could be now that you said that.
Houston, we have a problem.
Well, what's the problem?
We don't actually know.
So up next, another potential game of the week. 2-1-3 teams, the Miami Dolphins against the Tennessee Titans.
I'm going with Marcus, Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Mariota for the win.
I'm abstaining from picking on this game. I don't think this game is deserving of my pick. I'm going to...
But Houston and the Jags these are two better records.
No, I don't. The way these teams have played is an embarrassment to the sport of football. I say the winner of this game is LeBron James.
I'll go with that.
Isn't the true winner of this game the fans? No.
No,
I'm going
those
Tennessee.
are the losers.
I'm picking Tennessee for this one. Up next, we got the Carolina Panthers versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Seahawks, it's a must-win.
Jeff?
I'm thinking.
All right, so
I want to
Jeff
say the
thinks.
Panthers, don't you?
I want to say the Panthers very badly. I have a feeling the Seahawks win it with Lynch coming back, but I really, really hope the Panthers win.
I could see the Panthers winning in like a 17-14 game.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers take their first loss of the season. I am taking Seattle.
Let's face it, if any team's going 16-0, it's not the Panthers.
Yeah. There's no doubts in my mind about that. Up next, the San Diego Chargers versus the Green Bay Packers.
Aaron Rodgers.
They don't
The
even
Green
have
Bay Aaron Rodgers.
They don't even have a team anymore. They're just the Aaron Rodgers.
No, they're going to beat up the Chargers this week.
Yep, I'm taking Chargers. Chargers also have a weak run game defense. Pass game, they're pretty strong, but I think Eddie Lacy needs a big game, and I think he will have a big game, so I'm taking Packers.
I'm taking the Inhumans.
The Inhumans.
We're going with
for anyone
the
who
Green
knows.
Bay Aaron Rodgers. No, the Packers.
Now we go to Jeff's Super Bowl pick. I'm not letting you leave that one. Baltimore Ravens against the San Francisco 49ers. Man, these games are just
brutal this
losing.
week. I know.
At least I don't own it like he does.
Well,
I'm
like I
hoping
said,
people forget.
I'm going Ravens, though. The 49ers, in my opinion, are the worst team in the league.
The Niners are in shambles.
What do you guys think about, I don't know if you guys heard about the comments Colin Kaepernick made. Did you guys hear about this?
Which comments?
Which-
Colin Kaepernick says a lot of stupid
He
things.
mentions a lot of things, but he was talking about that they could still make the playoffs.
I mean, mathematically.
But he
Wah,
straight
wah,
up just went up
wah.
there and said, I don't think we're done. We could make it.
Realistically, probably
No.
not. Mathematically, sure. I mean, if everyone else loses.
Yeah.
I think even if they won out, they'd maybe make that wild card, but I still don't think they'd win that division.
I'm
Yeah,
going
it's-
Baltimore in this one.
I think everyone's going Baltimore.
Yeah, we're all on Baltimore.
Up next, we have the New England Patriots, Christian Super Bowl pick, and the Indianapolis Colts.
Everyone else's Super Bowl pick.
Hey,
Who?
Everyone else.
you guys asked who I thought was making it. That's who I thought was making
Hey,
it.
you know what?
I'm
You
not
were
going out
honest.
on a
You were
limb.
honest, yeah. I'm going Patriots, no question, 5-0.
Upset of the week, Colts.
Yeah, but Andrew Luck's starting, not the Hass. If Hasselbeck was starting, I'd be going Colts. But Andrew Luck is going to complete more passes to the Patriots than he is to the Colts. I'm just on the Hasselbeck wagon, man. He needs to.
My
No, shout
mind
out
is
to Hasselbeck.
blown.
He won me my fantasy week last week.
He needs to win MVP this year. It's just he cannot play in another game the rest of the year. I'm still voting for him for MVP. No, I'm going with the Patriots.
Now, upset of the week, really? You're picking the Colts?
Yeah.
Wow.
To beat his Super Bowl
That's
pick.
a big one, yeah. I don't know, like, personally, I just can't.
That's a
see
big
that.
test for the Colts, though, to see if they're
If
who
they
we thought
can
they
win
were at
this
the beginning
game,
of the year,
exactly.
or if they're the team we've seen all year.
I agree completely.
Over or under 7 points in the first half with inflated footballs.
Oh.
Indianapolis Colts.
No.
Now, this is also a rematch from the.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what
another
that's
reason
what I'm
why
talking
picking the
about.
Colts. They got
Yeah.
beat up in that playoff game. Luck did not forget that.
So you think Hasselbeck might not be playing, but you think he's sitting in the locker room deflating footballs before the game?
Probably.
Is he?
For which team? He got paid. And the Monday Nighter, we got the New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
Giants.
Yeah, Giants.
Yeah.
No question.
Gi-
We spoke about it already. Eli
Philadelphia
Manning
is
playing
reeling. The Giants have a solid offense. Their defense is looking all right this year too, and Eli has just been playing phenomenal.
great. Eli's playing great. And obviously this week, the bye week goes to the Oakland Raiders. Dallas Cowboys, who they need a bye week, obviously, for those injuries to get an extra week.
We need more than a bye week.
Yeah, they need more than a bye right now.
Need
St.
like a
Louis
3-week
Rams get a week
break.
off, as well as the Buccaneers.
St. Louis Rams get a week off to nurse everyone else's quarterbacks back to health.
Yeah, everyone is safe this week.
Yeah. It's okay, quarterbacks. Take a deep breath, a sigh of relief.
So in a realistic term, Game of the week. Who do you guys got?
Patriots and Colts.
Pats and Colts?
Mm.
Jeff?
Or low-key that Seahawks-Panthers game. I think that's going to be a very gritty game.
I was going to say, I think my game was probably the Seattle and Panthers game.
Seahawks-Panthers game is in my opinion, the game of the week because of the repercussions that it could have if Seattle loses this game. Obviously, the game I'm going to be watching is going to be Cards-Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you want to watch a game where that's going to be exciting, I think that's the game you're going to watch.
Yeah.
Or Houston-Jacksonville.
Oh, God.
I think tonight's game is going to be, we kind of touched on it, I think
Blowout.
it's going to be a good game.
Falcons are going to blow them out.
Yeah, but it's a Thursday night game, too. So
Yeah.
nobody plays good on Thursday night.
We'll see.
They're like Matt Ryan puts up like 350 yards per game. He's going to put up like 106. Like just because it's Thursday.
Yeah.
Going to walk out on the field and be like, oh, it's
Please,
Thursday.
I have
or
Julio Jones and Ingram. Like, don't hurt them.
11 receptions for 12 yards. For Julio.
Oh, man.
Ingram 10 carries, -1
Stop.
yards.
That would be the worst.
And a safety for Julio.
Rest in peace, my fantasy.
2 fumbles. 2 fumbles gives up a safety.
Oh,
What are your guys' upset of the week? Obviously, mine's the Colts over the Pats.
I gotta look here. I haven't really.
This isn't an upset heavy week.
I
Like,
would say
Yeah,
like
all the games are pretty trash.
The only upset that you could really get out of this week, in like a realistic term, would be if the Steelers won, which it's not going to happen. If the Saints won tonight, or if the Bills beat the Bengals. I think those are the only 3 you could really, and the Browns. I think those are really the only 4 you could consider an upset.
Mine is obviously the one I picked, which is the Browns over the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind that one at all.
I think mine would be, I'm just going to go with my team. If the Bills beat the Bengals, I think that would be an upset.
Yeah, that'd be
Cop-out.
huge.
Hey,
So
I'm just saying it would be an upset.
I mean, I went with Cardinals for my. It's
game of
allowed.
the
It's
week,
allowed. I'll allow it. As
You
the
just can't pick the Cowboys this week because they're sitting at home.
as the Aaron Rodgers of this podcast, I'll allow it. All right,
Now,
so
sorry, quick question in regards to the Cowboys. When Tony Romo said "see you in February," do you think he's sitting at home on his PS4 right now playing GM mode and he got to the Super Bowl and he's like, "This is what I meant"?
no,
Him and Tom Brady are playing online.
he's Tom
right
Brady's
now.
date for the Super Bowl.
He's walking him out on the field.
the after party. Tom Brady, Tony Romo.
Oh, wow.
That'd be a cute baby. No.
My poor mind.
One more thing, we wanted to introduce yet another new segment that we're going to do weekly this week, and it's called the 4th and Goal Doghouse, where we're going to take a player each week to either put in the doghouse, take out of the doghouse, or just keep in the doghouse for the rest of eternity. Obviously, we're throwing Aaron Rodgers. No. So, who disappointed you this week that you're throwing in your doghouse? We're going to start with you, Andrew.
I already mentioned it earlier. Eddie Lacy is in my doghouse right now. He had a terrible game last week. I know the Packers kind of struggled, but right now I'm putting Eddie Lacy in my doghouse.
Brandon Whedon.
Oh, wow.
And he's staying
What a
there for
cop-out.
the rest of his life.
What a cop-out.
All right, guys. I'm going to need to take an aside with mine here, and I know he's not listening, but I'm going to need to talk to you, Jonathan Cooper, just off to the side here.
Talk to
Because,
him.
man, your pass protection is like, you know those little annoying doors with the little fingers on it that you go through at like the toy stores and that are always so annoying that you just step over them instead of actually going through them? That is Jonathan Cooper's pass defense. Pass protection. He is absolutely useless in pass protection. Every time there is a man in the backfield against the Cardinals, it is Jonathan Cooper's man. Like, I have refs calling penalties on 61 just permanently embraced in my mind.
Yeah.
It's just there. Like, it won't leave. I go to bed at night and I'm hearing holding, number 61, offense, every night before I go to bed. It's my alarm in the morning. It's holding, number 61, offense.
Now, for you, the listeners, we have a inbox separately with the 3 of us. We're usually on Sundays, we'll talk about our teams or what games we're watching. And every Sunday, this is what me and Christian get to read. It's just Jonathan Cooper. Guys, penalty on Jonathan Cooper.
Yeah, me and
Why-
Andrew.
why is
already-
this guy
Palmer
still
just got
playing?
sacked. It's Jonathan Cooper's fault.
Me and Andrew already agree. We're getting you a Cooper jersey
Oh,
for
God.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Please,
Merry
no.
Christmas, buddy.
I don't understand.
We're
why
gonna
this-
frame it for you so you can put it on your
I'm
wall
going to
at
check
the end of your bed.
NFLshop.com right now.
I mean,
just
we
to
have
see a Jonathan
we have
Cooper
Earl
jersey.
Watford sitting on the bench that can go out and play. He started all of last year. I mean, it was at left guard, but like, put him in there. Just Cooper out. He needs to be working at a McDonald's or something.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
Jonathan Cooper, if you hear this, me and Christian will gladly sit down to talk to you. But anything else, take it up with Jeff.
I'm not sitting down to talk to him. He's a very large human being. I'm a very small human being.
I was going to say, I don't think he'll talk to you. He'll talk to me and Christian, but not you.
You know what? That's okay. I'd start yelling at him anyway. I mean, no offense, Jonathan. You're significantly better at what you do than what I could do doing it. But, I mean, compared to your colleagues, you're in my doghouse. I'm sorry, Jonathan. Just accept it. You know, I hope you hear this and try to prove me wrong and come out next week.
I was going to say it's been working.
The best offensive line
working.
I've ever seen, but
so Eddie Lacy, one reason I mentioned you're on my fantasy team, so please get out of my doghouse.
Yeah, he's on one of my teams too.
I really need him.
These guys are both praying for Eddie Lacy to get out. I'm praying that I don't have to put, like, if I have to put Jonathan Cooper in again next week, like, it's not even going to be and I'm putting someone else in or I'm taking him out. I'm just duplicating him. Like, I'm putting 2 Jonathan Coopers in my doghouse if he doesn't.
I threw Brandon Wheaton in mine, locked the door, threw out the key. He's stuck.
Is there anyone else you guys want to add to your doghouses, or?
No.
Just go 1 player a week.
Just Cooper.
Yeah, one a week?
Just Cooper.
So Eddie Lacy, Jonathan Cooper, and Brandon Wheaton.
And Jonathan Cooper again.
Oh, there's the jersey we're getting him.
Boy.
We just found it.
For those listening, we're looking at a Cooper jersey for Mr. Blagden.
Says the back of it doesn't actually say Cooper on it. It says penalty 61. Underneath it, offense. Yeah.
And it's a big yellow jersey.
Yeah. It's got the holding symbol on it where the C for captain would go. Man. I'm so done with Jonathan
Welcome
Cooper.
to the Rip Jonathan Cooper podcast.
Yeah, we'll just go 5 solid minutes on ripping on Jonathan Cooper. But hopefully he hears this and he's like, you know what? I'm going to prove that Jeff guy wrong.
I'm going to prove that 23-year-old kid wrong.
Yeah, I'm going to prove that Aaron Rodgers guy wrong. And I'm going to go out there.
This is when Aaron Rodgers started a podcast.
I feel like it'd be something Carson Palmer would be saying on a podcast right now about Jonathan
My own
Cooper.
teammates, Jonathan Cooper.
Yeah, Jonathan Cooper is just like the last person I would expect to go on anything media related and rip on me. Mostly because he's 87 years old and doesn't know how to use a computer. Speaking of 87 years old and not knowing how to use a computer, Dwight Freeney is a Cardinal. That's
what a segue.
I know, right?
Great segue.
I am a master of segues and many other arts.
How do you feel about it, though? You like that move?
I like it temporarily. While Alex Okafor is out with his injury, I like Cooper. Freeney.
Please, somebody get that audio clip, play it back, and just send it to us. I like
Cooper.
I like Freeney coming in and substituting in for him for, a couple weeks, however long. Okafor's out for. He's looking 2 to 4 weeks, so I don't think we're going to be looking at Freeney to be, the Dwight Freeney of the past.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we need a pass rusher.
And I was going to say, the good thing with the Freeney move is now gives you kind of a second option on the bench. Even when Okafor comes back, you're still going to have Freeney on that team, which is
possibly
a good trade, yeah.
Possibly.
I think he'll stay. He'll stay for the rest of the
We'll see when Okafor is healthy, because we don't play a lot of linebackers. Mm-hmm. We just don't. We play 3 down linemen, 7 DBs, and 2 linebackers. And those linebackers just rotate on and off. It's usually Okafor, but it'll rotate out with Witherspoon and Woodley, too. Mm-hmm. So we're not a linebacker-heavy team, and even when they do feature linebackers, they're almost always blitzing.
Yep.
So... I mean, which again is a good spot for Dwight Freeney to be as a linebacker, as a pure blitzer, right? But in those situations where he is going to have to cover a tight end or something, I don't see Freeney being able to do it, right? So it turns into a liability on certain downs.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Now they're going to need to start 8 DBs. Just throw out all cornerbacks. That's our entire team. Don't even have a blitz. Just
8 DBs.
Yeah. Just 11 defensive backs. We're going with... But just have Jonathan Cooper line up at tackle. Maybe he'll be more effective on defense than on offense.
No, the guy guarding him will step over him and be like, play receiver.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I'm open.
He can't exactly be worse, let's face it.
Oh, yeah, one thing also I want to touch on we didn't mention. Did you guys see what the NFL did this week with fining Cameron Hayward for having a dedication to his father?
That's terrible.
And then they also, D'Angelo Williams asked to wear pink for the rest of the season because his mother, I believe, was affected by breast cancer.
I think grandmother.
And they said no to that as well. They said they'd fine him every game. Don't you think it's just ridiculous, some of the things that the NFL does with things like that?
Now, I understand a uniform code. Like, for example, Nike pays for the jerseys, right?
Yeah.
But
if he's just wearing pink gloves and an arm sleeve,
wrong. Yeah,
what
to me,
does
that's
that matter?
absolutely wrong. That's like saying you have to wear cleats that are the color of your team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll use
Beast Mode when he wore the gold cleats.
Yeah, like, and that's what I was going to say. You could use that, or like European football, for example. Players don't wear they wear whatever cleats they want. For example, like Cristiano Ronaldo, he wore pink cleats for the longest time.
Well, yeah, if you look at basketball.
Yeah, the shoes, everything, they don't have to match.
Unless you're on Paul Pierce's team, he doesn't allow you to wear LeBrons because the hate is that real.
Yeah, that's real. Speaking of LeBron.
I mean, you got to like the rivalry, though. You don't see a lot of those in professional sports anymore.
No, I love that. I love rivalries like that.
Okay.
But no, I find it ridiculous.
No, it's absolutely asinine.
You know, like, we're raising for a cause that hits near and dear, I think, to a lot of people.
And with Hayward, this guy's representing his father.
Yeah.
Who probably got him into the sport. And all he had was the sticks under the eyes.
Yeah.
And it had, I forget for sure what it said, but it was something pertaining to him. And yeah, you got a fine for that.
To me, that's dumb because, for example, I'll use Mario Williams as an example. Last year, he wears contacts, for those people who don't know. And last year, he was actually wearing red-colored contacts that looked almost like demonic, and they let it go. They didn't care.
Really?
Yeah, he did not get fined or anything. So that's my point.
That makes no sense.
I like the Mario Williams thing as a Bills fan. I thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
But if
that's way more distracting than
somebody who
representing
has
their father
pink,
with stickers that everyone wears. Yeah.
Agreed completely.
Yeah, I mean, it seems kind of, especially in the D'Angelo Williams situation, too, where it's like he wants to wear NFL licensed pink gear.
Yeah,
like, they're still making money off of it. They're going to be able to market towards this still, and they're saying, no, you can't do that to support, your family that you've lost members of to this disease.
If it was me, I would just wear it and take the fines every week.
Well, that's what Marshawn
Lynch it. Yeah.
And the thing with D'Angelo Williams, I know at the beginning of the year he had the pink dye in his hair.
On his dreads, right?
Yeah, and they had mentioned that was for, like I said, it was mother, grandmother, whoever it was in his family.
I think it's more than one. Like, a lot of his family's been affected.
And you know
by
what?
it.
I don't blame him. Like, personal side note, I've had many people in my family fall to cancer.
Yeah, my grandma passed away from lung cancer last year, so I understand completely.
Exactly, and it hits close to home, and I think a lot of fans who watch it hits close to home, and they love seeing something like that. Like, I'll full on admit, when I was watching the very first game of the season, Pittsburgh, New England, I went over to a friend's house to watch it, and I watched D'Angelo Williams running, and I said, why the heck does that guy have pink in his hair? And right away they mentioned it on the broadcast. He's doing it for his family. And I loved the idea right away. I thought, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, that looks really
I'm sure
cool.
you weren't the only one, except for the NFL, who disagrees with it for whatever reason.
The NFL has a ridiculous monopoly on everything in there. It's insane how it's insane how the NFL marketing works and everything. They're ruthless. They have like this fascist level control over everything that gets marketed.
I understand with some of it, but when it has to do with family and cancer and things of that nature,
it's not only that.
Leave it alone.
It's something that you like. They can use it to market. It's to their benefit. Like, and that's the thing that annoys me with the NFL. They feel like they're this all overruling power that can control everything that goes on in it. And we've seen it, especially in years past, as it gets more and more imperative. They just try to exercise so much control over everything. We saw it with the whole Brady situation this year, which was insane. It was a losing battle from the beginning, and they still went to fight it. We've seen it in the Marshawn Lynch stuff, which I'm on the NFL sides with, but still.
Even the Ray Rice stuff.
The Ray Rice stuff, everything. The NFL can hide or show whatever they choose to do. They can get mad at you, they can fine you, they can take you out for things that doesn't matter, and nobody can argue it because they are the one and only power.
Now, with that, the NFL's picking another fight for those who may have not heard with Deadspin and other third-party sites such as Deadspin in the use of using things like vines or highlights on their websites, which I'm completely against because I understand where the NFL's coming, like they're trying to use the copyright thing and whatnot. But Deadspin, when they play those vines or when they post things like that, it makes you want to turn the channel to another game, maybe when there's something not going in the game you're watching. It keeps you still on the NFL because you want to see what's going to happen next. In my opinion, Deadspin has really helped the NFL in that regard. But now you want to take that away. You're hurting, I think, credibility, and you're also kind of hurting a potential like partnership there.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree 100%. Some of the moves they make literally blow my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's just ridiculous to see what they try to do, and that these days, it's embarrassing for other companies and for the people out there to see what they do. But we're gonna move on from that now because we're all gonna get overly heated about something like this, despite how much we love the NFL as as a sporting event, and that we just don't like the overlord control that the NFL shows as a company over everything. But like trying to sell people Jonathan Cooper jerseys, it's just not fair. It's just not. They shouldn't even let you buy them.
Oh, man.
My face lit up when I saw it on the site.
Oh
I was
God.
like, oh.
I will pitch $50 to get that for him.
God.
No problem.
So going into for my question of the week, this week we're tied 1-1. This week, as we all know and have been forced down our throats for the entirety of last week, Aaron Rodgers threw 586 straight home passes without an interception. My question for you guys, how many interceptions did opposing teams throw at Lambeau in that time span?
Ooh.
Coming into this week's game.
How
So
many
not
games-
including Nick
How
Foles
many
this
games
week.
is that? Do you know by chance?
Oh, since December 2012.
So
that's
home
at
games
least-
since December 2000.
So it's
16,
8, 16, 24, plus how many they've played this year.
That's like 27.
So we'll say give or take
26,
under 30
27.
games. Yeah, under 30 games.
Once again, we're not counting Nick Foles last week, who had an
At least
embarrassing
one
4 interception
a
showing.
game, That's 26.
So 24 games plus 1, 2,
38.
3, 4. 4 games.
38.
You're going 30.
I'm going 38.
I'm going to go.
So 28 games.
You're going to prices right me and go 1?
So 28 games?
28 games.
28 games, eh? Okay.
No prices right in it.
41.
Both of you guys are going way over. Way over.
So I won because I was
He
close.
was lower. The answer is 19.
That's it?
19 interceptions to Aaron Rodgers, 0
2-1.
going into that game.
2-1, baby.
I won the real question about Josh McCown anyway, so.
The only question that matters
Yeah.
is the Josh McCown question, apparently.
Yeah, but you flaked and didn't show up, though.
So
Hey.
since he didn't, since
Remain professional.
you didn't show up to the award ceremony, so no. So with that out of the way, we have now Christian leading at 2-1 after Andrew came out with the early victory there.
The champ is here.
Highest champ there.
Do. Anyway, that's all the time we have for you guys for this week, unfortunately, because we love hanging out with you so much. But that has been the 6th edition of Break the Cast. My name is Jeff Blagden, of 4th and Goal on Break the Cast. My name is Jeff Blagden.